if you're thinking of giving up and you are feeling like throwing in the towel, like things are just not going your way and they never will, and you feel really anxious about putting yourself out there, like you're expecting to be misunderstood, expecting to be rejected, these are all signs of spiritual disconnection, right? When we beat ourselves up around not being where we should be, right? Should be in life, that is a sign of spiritual disconnection. And we need to talk about how to plug back in, right? So that you're lit up, juiced up, and ready to share all of your love and insight and wisdom, joy, and energy with the world. Let's talk about it. I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield from strategicmeditation.com. I'm the world's first business Reiki master, which means I help energy sensitive, right, spiritually awakened professionals, especially those who are self-employed, to manage the stress that comes with being out there and serving their communities, right? So my work here at my office, as well as online for the last 16 years, has been to help you as a highly sensitive person increase your energy so you can also increase your impact out in the world. Like, I want all good people like you to make good money because they're doing more good in the world. That is a good thing when good people make good money doing good things in the world. That's what these messages, these video messages are about. This is the 5th of a 5-episode series on the 5 Reiki principles, or the Gokai, right? The 5 Reiki precepts. And I was inspired to talk about these 5 Reiki precepts as a foundational part of the study of Reiki, but also inspired by reading through chapter by chapter, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It is the sequel to Think and Grow Rich. The 9th chapter is what I'm working on here. And this book I recommend everyone read if you struggle with getting in your own way. Right? We all have an angel and a devil on our shoulder. The angel says, yes, you can do it, go for it. And the devil on our shoulder says, no, you can't, don't you dare, you can't do it, right? This book is an interview of the devil on Napoleon Hill's shoulder, him asking, how do I get in my way? How do you make me get in my own way? And how do I stop getting in my own way? What do we do about that, right? He's really getting all the secrets from the devil on his shoulder and sharing that with us. And chapter 9 in this book, Outwitting the Devil, is all about education and religion, how that feeds the devil on our shoulder, oddly enough. And as I was going through chapter 9, I had a realization that, oh my gosh, this is the Gokai. Like the whole chapter is amazing. But for me, my depth, my expertise is around teaching, and especially teaching Reiki. And listening and reading through on chapter 9 reminds me so deeply of the 5 Gokai, which is just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will be honest. And just for today, I will be kind. And today we are talking about being kind. In Japanese, it is kyou dake wa okoru na, shinpai su na, gansha shite, gyou wo hageme, hito ni shinsetsu ni. Just for today, I will not be angry, I will not worry, I will be grateful, I will be honest, and I will be kind. And so what is this concept of being kind, right? For those of you who are old enough to remember what it was like going to the video store, right? Renting a videotape. It said, please be kind, rewind, right? And so the concept of kindness is that when we do the translation of hito ni shinsetsu ni, it's to be kind to all living beings. Or another translation is to be kind to myself, my neighbor, and every living thing, right? Which is huge because we love being kind to somebody else. It's so easy to help out and care about somebody else, to be nice to other people. But if someone could take a microphone and hold it up to your head and hear the thoughts and the stories and the things that you say to yourself about yourself, like how many times would they need to bleep that out? Right? It wouldn't be PG-13 up in there. It might be like rated R, right? For violence and abuse. Be kind to yourself. That's one of the things that I'm on autopilot saying, be kind to yourself. Whenever my clients come, to sit on my sofa, right, and tell me what's going on and us work through releasing any blocks and obstacles that are in their way in life and business. One of the things that all of my clients and students know I say a million billion times is be kind to yourself. Why? Because being mean, right, instead of being kind, right, the opposite is to be mean, right? Being mean to ourselves is a low vibrational form of motivation and focus. It's the slave driver, right? You get the whip in hand, whoosh, 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 move, right? Work harder, wake up, stop it, hurry up, right? We have this inner slave driver that we internalized over the years to try and motivate ourselves to achieve and to be more excellent or to just get going in the first place. But interestingly, on the other side of hito ni shinsetsu ni, the other side of being kind to self, neighbor, and all living beings, that turns into true peak performance. Instead of from the effort side of getting more done and pushing and slaving and driving and going harder and harder to be of influence, when we do that with kindness, instead the influence comes from oneness and tapping into the infinite, right? When we feel like we can't go on, I'm ready to throw in the towel, forget about it, right? Forget about this relationship. Forget about this diet and exercise routine. Forget about this business. Nobody wants me anyway, right? When you want to throw in the towel, this is not that you don't have enough willpower to drive yourself hard enough. It's not that you are strong enough. It is you're tapping on limited strength, right? You are just you. And you're going to run out of energy. Unfortunately, we learned over the years to drive our energy up by being mean to ourselves. Oh, you're so stupid, right? Let's hold the microphone up to our heads and oh, you're so stupid. Why didn't you do that right? Hurry up. What are you doing? What are you, dumb? Oh my gosh, here you go again. No one's listening to you anyway, right? Holding the microphone up to your head, put a microphone emoji in the comments below and type some of what that is. Put the microphone emoji so we know that it's your mic and you're not trying to say that to other people. So do put the microphone emoji first. What kind of being mean to yourself to motivate you to get things done do you tend to say, right? Versus, so we're tapping on that limited amount of energy, of our own energy, versus if you switch it to being kind to yourself, now you've got to borrow from energy that comes from all that is. I am kind to myself, my neighbor, and every living being. Those are your true energy sources when you're being kind. This is just like nature. Forces of nature work along what's called the mycelial network, right? And the mycelial network, especially when we're looking at mushrooms, how they are like the neural network of the forest and of all that is, they trade energy amongst all of the different plant systems rather than just, oh, I'm one tree by myself, or I'm one flower by myself, or I'm one mushroom by myself. Hurry up, mushroom. What are you, stupid? Right? You're all alone in this. You're all alone in this when you're being mean to yourself. But when you're being kind to yourself, just for today, I will flip it. I will be kind to myself. What that does is it activates the entire, oh, I get the chills, the entire network of wisdom and healing of the universe, the YOU universe, but also the divine universe to support you. Holy Spirit can move to and through you when you are being kind to yourself, your neighbor, and every living being. All of the above, you become a part of that flow and current of life, or REIKI, universal life force energy, as it is translated. You are part of the flow of universal life force when you are being kind. What does it mean to be kind, by the way? It means to give kindness, to give goodness, to take actions that spread blessings. You know, in the previous episode, we talked about, just for today, I will be honest, which means to work honestly. I will therefore switch out of just thinking about the things that I'm blessed about, and now I'm going to do blessing things, right? I'm going to go into doing. I'm not just going to think, I'm going to do. This is so key, by the way, with Napoleon Hill, because his first book was Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. And then plenty of people read it. They thought about it. They crammed all of that into their head, and they knew how to think, and they knew how to plan, and they knew how to even communicate, and they learned, right? They learned about what riches really are, and they learned about the sixth sense and sex transmutation, all these things in Think and Grow Rich. People knew, they understood, they learned, they crammed it all in and absorbed it and memorized it, but they didn't grow rich. They didn't grow rich. They just thought. And so that's why he created Outwitting the Devil, because it's like, well, why aren't people growing rich? What's stopping people? Why are people just thinking, barely, and not growing? It was the devil outwitting them thinking. Oh, you can think on a different level, a rich level. You've learned about all this rich mindset, but that is a battle of wits. And the devil on our shoulder fights to suppress that part of you that actualizes what you've learned, that applies what you've learned, that implements what you've learned. This book is a long meditation on going from thinking to doing. And in the Gokai, we have that from the 4th to the 5th precept, right? The first few precepts are all internal, right? I'm not angry. I'm not worrying. I'm focusing on blessings, right? Being grateful and declaring what's good. And now I'm being honest that I'm not just all about those 3 things. Now I have to be about those 3 things. And what in particular am I going to start being about, right? Working honestly, because that creates integrity, is being honest. I'm going to be kind to all of the above, myself, my neighbor, and all living beings. I'm going to include myself in the kindness. I'm going to include my neighbor, even if they have a different political affiliation, even if they have a different gender, even if they have a different race, even if they have a different sexuality, even if they have a different economic situation, even if they come from a different country, right? Even if they come from like a different company, right? Everything. I'm going to be kind to myself, my neighbor, and every living being, even if they're not human. Even if they're not contributing to society. Even if they don't smell good. Even if they don't look good. I'm still going to be kind. I'm still going to give blessing. I'm still going to give goodness. And that creates in you the ability to flow with universal life force energy. You become hands of God when you spread blessing. Are you God? No, you are a part of the membership. You have, like, my body has limbs, which are my members, right? That's why if you cut one off, it's called dismemberment, right? So you can be the hands, the members of the entire body of the universe, of oneness, when you are being kind. And you want to start that, though, for healing with yourself, learning how to be kind. But okay, please be kind, rewind, is kind of like a vapid, empty statement. All right, when it comes to videotapes, all right, I'm going to be kind by rewinding. But when it comes to being kind to myself, Victoria, what the heck does that mean? Well, this is where we're going to go to the reading of the day, because you don't want to, you don't want to hear how to be kind to yourself. You actually want to hear the opposite of that, because when you focus on the opposite of the thing you don't understand, you can just take the negative apart. We're more negative oriented, right? As human beings, right? We've evolved to focus on the negative. So when we take apart the negative, the opposite, then we turn all of what we've learned from the opposite, right? Being mean, how to be mean to yourself. And then you flip that. It's like, oh, how can I be mean to myself? Here's 7 ways we're about to read how to be mean to yourself. And now, in order to be kind to yourself, stop doing all of the above. Stop doing all of the above. With that, let's get into it. Napoleon Hill asks, all my life I've heard clergymen preaching against sin and warning sinners to beware and repent so they could be saved. But I have never heard any of them tell me what sin is. Will you give me some light on this subject? He's asking the devil. And so the devil responds, of course the devil says this. Sin is anything one does or thinks which causes one to be unhappy. This is how to be mean to yourself, is the devil's version of sin, right? Human beings who are in sound physical and spiritual health should be at peace with themselves and always happy. Any form of physical misery, mental misery indicates the presence of sin. Napoleon asks, well, name some of the common forms of sin. The devil responds, number 1, it is a sin to overeat because that leads to ill health and misery. Number 2, it is a sin to overindulge in sex because that breaks down one's willpower and leads to the habit of drifting, meaning directionless in life. Number 3, it is a sin to permit one's mind to be dominated by negative thoughts of envy, greed, fear, hatred, intolerance, vanity, self-pity, or discouragement, because these states of mind lead to the habit of drifting. Number 4, it is a sin to cheat, lie, and steal, because these habits destroy self-respect, subdue one's conscience, and lead to unhappiness. Number 5, it is a sin to remain in ignorance, because that leads to poverty and loss of self-reliance. Number 6, it is a sin to accept from life anything one does not want, because that indicates an unpardonable neglect to use the mind. Number 7, it is a sin. Oh, okay. Well, Napoleon asks the 7th sin. Well, is it a sin for one to drift through life without definite aim, plan, or purpose? So number 7, yes. because this habit leads to poverty and destroys the privilege of self-determination. It also deprives one of the privilege of using his own mind as a medium of contact with infinite intelligence. Napoleon asks, "Are you the chief inspirer of sin?" The devil answers, "Yes. It is my business to gain control of the minds of people in every way possible." So Napoleon asks, "Can you control the mind of a person who commits no sin?" The devil answers, "I cannot, because that person never permits his mind to be dominated by any form of negative thought. I cannot enter the mind of one who never sins, let alone control it." Napoleon asks, "What is the commonest and most destructive of all sins?" And this is numbers 8 and 9. The devil answers, fear and ignorance. These are, instead of the 7 deadly sins, these are the 9 deadly sins, or rather, 9 ways to be mean to yourself. Shall we recap super fast? Let me see here. Doing things, wait, hold on. Okay, 9 ways to be mean to yourself. Overeating, overindulging in sex, right, lust. Allowing your mind to be predominantly negative. Lying, right, lying, cheating, stealing. Being ignorant, just remaining ignorant. Accepting things that you don't want. Drifting through life without a purpose. Being fearful. Well, being ignorant. So this is like 8, because ignorance came up twice. But those are the ways to be mean to yourself instead of being kind to yourself. Those 7 things, they're primarily 7, I would have to say. Then the fear and ignorance is like 2 out of the 7. So it's not 9. Sorry, I'm thinking on camera. I'm going to be kind to myself and be present. It is what it is, right? So out of those, let's say 7 deadly sins, 7 to 9, ways to be mean to yourself. How can we flip that? And okay, instead of overeating, how to be kind to yourself. Let's flip it. Instead of overeating, eating for nourishment. Number 2, having healthy boundaries around intimacy so that you love and respect yourself. Being kind to yourself. Having a mind that is dominated by positive thoughts and optimism. Number 4, telling the truth and never cutting corners. Number 5, leaning in and seeking to understand no matter what. Number 6, always going for what you do want, right? And never settling for anything less. Number 7, being purposeful, having a life purpose and going for it. And then to flip fear and ignorance, to be confident, right? And informed. Confident and connected is actually what my spirit guides just said. Is more of what spirit is asking for you. That's how you be kind to yourself, and then you give that to others as well, right? Hito ni shinsatsu ni. I'm being kind to myself, my neighbor, and every living being. Right? I'm spreading more love. I'm being a force for good. When you do all of that, this is basically the 7 to 9 ways to practice basic, awesome self-care so that you are operating at peak performance levels, right? You're eating to nourish yourself. You're respecting your body and your boundaries. You're telling the truth always, no matter what. This is how you become more efficient. Being kind is actually being efficient. It is the opposite of efforting, right? If you are being mean to yourself, you're working harder. Whereas when you're being kind to yourself, you're working smarter. You are in alignment with everything flowing to and through you, and you're being a part of the greater good and the greater flow of compassion and oneness and wisdom throughout the world, rather than pushing against it and beating yourself up along the way. It takes a lot of energy to beat yourself up and go to work. Just let go. Let go of beating yourself up. With that, the card of the week is the Nine of Fire. The Nine of Fire, which is, so 9 is completion, fire, action. It's as a challenger. So it means we're resisting not giving up. So it says don't give up. So you're resisting not giving up. Resisting protecting that which you created. Resisting having courage and believing in yourself. Resisting following through and sealing the deal. Why are we doing that? Because we're so exhausted from beating ourselves up and being mean to ourselves that we don't have anything left. We don't have anything left. Watch out for that this week. Instead of being mean to yourself to be motivated to work harder, work smarter by being kind to yourself and giving kind acts, right? Random acts of kindness to other. Let that pour out more love and beneficence, more love and goodness in the world, and light you up as a channel for good coming out, right? That reestablishes your spiritual connection so that you don't feel disconnected and worn out anymore. You don't have to throw in the towel. You are not alone when you are being kind in that universal way. You are connected to the oneness flowing through you. You are a part of all good that is in the world. Now, we could talk about this concept of working smarter and not harder with using kindness and all of that stuff. We could talk about the Gokai. But remember, I believe in the importance of shifting your state with strategic meditation. Strategic meditation is the exercise in practicing relaxed focus, meditation, done first before a targeted action is taken strategically. So meditation done strategically is done first to get you in alignment, right? It is the readying and aiming before you fire. It is the readying that gets you to fire, okay? Is strategic meditation. So go ahead to bevisionarymovement.com. That's the name of my membership platform. So BE, spell out the whole word, bevisionarymovement.com. And you're going to type in the search bar at the top of the page in my vault of visualizations. So there's hundreds and hundreds of custom meditations I've recorded for you, for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs, right? To support you as a solopreneur or as a professional looking to dive into your own thing, right? You're going to type in heart and mind clearing cleansing. Heart and mind clearing cleansing. Type that into the search bar. It's an 11-minute strategic meditation. And so to really get that down into your energy so that you can plug back in to the universal mind, to universal wisdom, to plug back into the Holy Spirit, we need to cleanse the heart and mind, right? So that you can be an open channel for all of that good and loving kindness to flow to you and through you first, and out into your neighbor and every living being, all that is around you. Do that 11-minute meditation to really ground and recenter yourself. And let me know how it goes in the comments below, or tell me in the comments what comes up for you hearing all this. Is this something that you believe in, creating a more loving, kind, compassionate world? I would love to hear your opinions in the comments below. hit the share button and post this to your favorite social media platform so that we spread more love in the world and in our community. So if you made it to the end of this video, let me know if you want your cards read. I'm happy to, whether I'm doing that by audio remotely for you, or you could come here in person or on Zoom. Happy to schedule that session, see what's in the cards for you so that we could get things organized, clear and flowing for you. You can send an email to team@victoriawhitfield.com or text me at 732-903-8573 so that we can set up your private session. Or I could come to see you at your company to do a lovely meditation session for your group of leaders. With that, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for your support. We will see you next week. Remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. Big hugs, big love. We'll see you next time.